Hello, GovCon winners. Before I jump into today's video, I want you to go on this walk with me. I was in this Facebook group and this gentleman was talking about how he wanted to get into translation. Believe it or not, the federal government spends millions of dollars on translating documents, translating in person, translating just all different types of content including all different types of languages. And this person wanted to have the federal government as a client. And so I asked, hey, so do you have a government contract already? Is this something you're already doing? And their response was, well, I've met with an accountant, I'm running my numbers, and I'm still trying to figure out how many different services I need to sell or how many pages or what may have you I need to obtain in business from the federal government so I know my numbers. I want you to sit with that for a minute. There's nothing wrong with that approach, not whatsoever, but wouldn't it maybe make a little more sense if you just jumped in, just started doing it? So today's video is about action faking versus action taking. Action faking versus action taking. So in that scenario, yeah, it's great. Went through all these steps, but he didn't have a federal government contract. There's a ton of information here on YouTube about government contracting. There's books, there's groups on Clubhouse, but you're not going to really learn unless you're really doing it. But what ends up happening is we end up action faking. And let me read you the definition, because I want to make sure you all really take this in. Action faking: any action or task to do that isn't found within the critical path, the exact steps that will get you your first customer. MJ DeMarco. Running numbers, pondering away is not going to get you your first client. Maybe after landing his first government client, he may say, oh my gosh, I don't like this. That's happened. I've come across a ton of people who are like, wow, I can't believe you're in government contracting, Kizzy. I hated it. That's fine. There's a lot of things I hate too. Understood. But you got to get in and do it. So what happens are those who are caught up in action faking, you register on SAM. You get really focused on set asides, 8A and woman owned and veteran owned. And let me hear me out now. Hear me out. This is typically a person who has never really had a business, or you haven't had at least any type of government money come in. And when I say government money, I mean subcontract, or maybe you worked for someone who was a government contractor, right? So while it seems like, oh, well, I'm making steps forward, right? I'm in SAM. I'm looking for a set aside. You gotta have a customer. You must have a customer all day, every day. You must have a customer. And I'm going to get into what you need to do that. So registering SAM, focusing on set asides, kind of checking out some videos here. Maybe you went to an event, but at that event, they didn't really seem like they want to help us small businesses. I hear that a lot. The things that I share in these videos are not like things that come out of my brain, like imagination. I'm not like a fiction writer. This all comes from a place of love and place of things that people have shared with me. But you think, well, that's the next step, right? I'm in SAM, get my set asides, I'm going to these meetings, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a business. Maybe you have a website, maybe you still got a Gmail address, maybe you still have a full-time job. So are these core tasks that you need to do? And that's the question you have to ask yourself. Is this a core task that I need to accomplish to get a customer? The answer is no, it's not. I had none of these. I wasn't in SAM. I didn't have a set aside other than small business. And if you're watching this video, more than likely you're already a small business. And I still received a subcontract for almost $100,000. So what should you be working and focus on for action taking to get those sales, to focus you on profits? You must be focused on profits, because if not, you're a charity or you're a nonprofit. And if that's the path you want to go on, by all means. But in terms of what we're talking about here today, what's going to get you here, okay? That's vital. Number one, what are you selling? Is it a product? Is it service? Is it construction? Is it both? What are you selling? And are you willing to sell it to the government in the way in which they buy it? That's number one. It begins with your mindset. If you come to terms with that and you accept that while you may be an executive coach, or maybe you're big into construction opportunities, but you see that a government agency is willing to spend $200,000 on a fence that you could make 150 off of, but maybe fencing wasn't your thing before, I'm sure it's going to become your thing, right? Same thing with coaching. Maybe your focus is on executives and you're accustomed to getting paid $800 an hour. Well, there's tons of coaching opportunities in the federal government. They may not all allow you to charge $800 an hour, but you could have greater volume. So instead of $800 clients a few times a year, you have ongoing revenues. The mindset is key, and you must sell something to the federal government that they want to purchase, and you're okay with them purchasing it according to how they buy, first and foremost. Number two, you must understand in order to stay in business, you have to have business. And the way that you get business is through responding to sources sought, solicitations, requests for information. So I kind of call this SAMgov approach, right? It's the SAM.gov approach. You're probably very familiar. And if you're not, that's cool. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. It's responding to at least 10 different opportunities every month, because you're going to always need something in the pipeline. Because remember, where's our focus? Here. Not on faking, not trying to impress our friends and family, talking about we're going to start a government contracting business. It's here. And the beauty of federal government contracting is multi-year contracts where they pay out every month over several years. That's what's so beautiful about this space. Or in the construction space, that you're able to have amazing margins because the budgets may be higher than with state or local governments. So SAM.gov. The second thing is what I call dialing for dollars. That is outreach. It's you picking up your phone, get your phone. You're going to call and email at least, I know this is going to sound crazy, y'all. I mean, at least start with 10, but the goal is you want to contact at least up to 100 different small business reps in the space that you're looking to make profit. So if you're like, hey, I'm kind of interested in the Army, contact all the small business reps within the Army. There's more than one, I promise you. You're going to call them, you're going to email them, and you're going to request a capability brief. This approach gets you immediately in the door, because more than likely that agency, they have the money on contract is what we say, and they're ready to spend. When you're doing the dialing for dollars, it's an introduction. It's you making them aware of you. So when they have that money or a potential opportunity comes up, they think of you. That is the beauty of dialing for dollars. The third thing you do, back to profits, back to action taking, is you want to maximize all of these the outreach events, kind of in this other bucket, right? And that is, you want to attend in-person meetings, virtual matchmaking, as well as look at the forecast. Here is why this is vital, especially for the different virtual meetings or in-person meetings. You're now face to face with that government person. It's easy to dismiss a phone call, not answering, delete email. It's easy to dismiss. But when you have someone there, they can feel your energy. You can tell your story. They can get to know, like, and trust you even more. Because that's the ultimate goal with action taking, to get to the money at the know, trust, and like you. That's what happens when you respond. That's what happens when you're dialing for dollars. And you don't do this once, you don't do this twice, you don't do it 3 times. It's over and over and over and over again. That's why it's not faking. Faking is, oh, well, I tried and nothing happened. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But y'all GovCon winners, we don't give up like that. If this was an easy space, everybody. What do you do for a living? Government contracting. I'm telling you, Cardi B would rap about it. Drake would rap about it. Drake would have a government contracting company. What? Because he's from Canada, he can. This is super important, okay? So you want to attend those events. Some of them cost some money. Do what you can do within your budget. The virtual ones, attend. Here's why. You're going to ask for the contact information from the point of contact. So then after the event, you contact everyone on that list, especially government agencies, and request a capability brief. Because even if you get a one-on-one with them, it's usually 5-10 minutes, maybe 15. There could be a tech issue. They could be delayed. Maybe the person didn't attend. Action faking? Well, I tried. I went to the event. XYZ agency didn't show up. You know how many times this happened to me? I had a gentleman say to me once, small business rep. He said, oh, well, it's really great that you offer training, Kizzy. You know, you kind of remind me of my sister, but we don't buy training. And I said to him, I understand that, and I appreciate the compliment. I said, but I know you buy training. You're going to buy training. We ended up with $1 million contract with that person. Took a couple years. So you don't give up. We're not faking, right? When you're there, and I was there with him in person, it's hard. It's hard to say no. It's hard to be like, it's like, ooh, okay, you're opening things up. So get that list. You want to request a capability brief, preferably in person with them if you can, if not virtually, okay? So it's definitely what you want to do after attending any type of event. Then when it comes to forecasts, you go to acquisition.gov. There are other places for these forecasts. And in essence, the federal government is saying, here are some things we think we may, I don't know, want to buy. What's awesome is it allows you to get a little more known. That's what's key. Because you always want to be responding to opportunities, solicitations. You want to always be dialing for dollars. That's how you create your own ocean. Lastly, in this kind of miscellaneous Kizzy category, this allows you to make sure that they're thinking of you, because you don't just dial an email once, you dial an email repeatedly, at least monthly. And you can ask the small business rep. I did that with a particular small business rep. I said, I would love to stay in contact with you. And she said, okay, please email me every Thursday. That's what she said. I did it. Why not? Why not ask? And you may think, well, but nobody answers. Is this really going to work? It's worked for me. Hey, I mean, I get it. We all have a different path. This has worked for me. Dialing for dollars, $1 million. Dialing for dollars, $100,000 profit off of a contract that was a little over $100,000. It works, but you got to stay the course. You can't give up. All those other companies that give up, they're over here, the action taking area. But you're not that. You're an action taker. You're not going to give up. So hit that notification button, check out profitablecontracts.co, subscribe, like, comment. What else would you love for me to cover? If I could speak today, I'm so revved up, you guys. I have the whiteboard. I'm sorry if it's backwards. I'm so excited. I love you all so much. And don't forget, everything is possible. Take care.